In a world where music trends come and go faster than your favorite meme, Kendrick Lamar has managed to do the impossible. Stay relevant. Not just in sound, but in purpose. He isn't just a rapper, he's a time capsule, a prophet, a mirror reflecting the chaos and beauty of our generation. But how did he do it? How did Kendrick Duckworth from Compton become a Pulitzer Prize-winning icon? And more importantly, what makes him the voice we didn't know we needed? Now, before you start typing in the comments,
what about Drake?
Hold up. Drake makes hits, yes, but Kendrick makes history. There's a difference. And if you don't believe me, let's take a journey through the story that proves it.
Braid on you, pistol whip and break the face on you. Shit, I does it my way like Sinatra. I let them infrareds down mission, dot your scope and spot you. Move on and I got you.
Kendrick's story isn't just about music, it's about timing. It's about growing up in an era where hip hop was more than a genre. It was a lifeline. Compton wasn't just a city, it was a battleground, a birthplace of legends, and a stage for survival. And yet, out of that chaos emerged a voice that would speak not just for a neighborhood, but for an entire generation. But here's the thing. Some say Kendrick's rise wasn't just talent, it was destiny. He's often talked about visions of Tupac visiting him in his dreams, guiding him to his purpose. Think about it. Tupac, the voice of the 90s, passing the torch to Kendrick, the voice of today. Was it divine intervention or just a young man who understood the weight of his environment? To understand Kendrick's greatness, we have to go back to the streets of Compton, the mixtape grind, the albums that changed everything, and the moments that made us question what we thought we knew about hip hop. And don't worry, yes, we will tackle the big question. Why does every Kendrick album feel like homework assigned by the coolest professor ever? Compton isn't just a city, it's an institution. A place that birthed legends like Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Eazy-E. But for Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, born in 1987, Compton was home. His parents had moved from Chicago to escape the violence, only to find themselves in the heart of gang territory. But amidst the chaos, there was also music, raw, unfiltered, and revolutionary. Kendrick's parents were die-hard music lovers, with his dad constantly blasting Tupac's Me Against the World. Kendrick once said that hearing Tupac wasn't just an experience, it was a revelation. Imagine being a kid in the back seat, listening to Pac talk about pain and perseverance, and realizing, that's what I want to do.
You know what I'm saying? It's that situation when you got, we are living in a war zone. It's not as easy as these people are making us think, that they just got some criminal ass black kids with guns. It is not like that. We live in hell. We live in the gutter. We got us stacked up 80 deep in one building. You know, by the time you get out your house, you strapped to protect yourself. Because you're living in the same community that the police is carrying rifles and riot gear. They need them riot, excuse my language, I'm so sorry. The same reasons they need the riot hat, the riot jacket, the flak jacket, the double vest, the 9mm Glocks with extra bullets, the tear gas, the mace, all that. Who do you think the police is using that against? Dogs? So we fighting the same villains that they fight in the street. But instead of them seeing us fighting villains in the street, we all villains.
But it wasn't just Tupac. Kendrick was a sponge, soaking in the storytelling of DMX, the innovation of Dr. Dre, and the poetic chaos of Wu-Tang Clan. By the time he was 16, he wasn't just dreaming, he was doing. Writing rhymes, recording demos, and slowly building a reputation as the kid with the pen game that could cut through steel. While other kids were worried about prom and algebra, Kendrick was out here dropping bars that made grown men reconsider their careers. Talk about after-school activities, man.
I'm so appalled, Louis Vuitton draws the shit. A booth for me is a bathroom stall. If you're not finding me, your comedy, little Duval. I have a lot of flaws. I'm human before all. I wake up in the morning, smell some coffee, then tell your bitch to get off me. Most death, work to every autopsy. Man, that boy bad. Man, that boy spaz till he crashed like Sandra Bullock and Luda on the Ave.
Compton, a city that's given us some of the greatest stories in hip-hop, but also some of its harshest realities. For Kendrick Duckworth Lamar, this wasn't just a backdrop to his life. It was the heartbeat of his artistry. Born on June 17, 1987, Kendrick entered a world where survival wasn't just a skill, it was an art form. Kendrick's parents, Kenny and Paula Duckworth, had moved from Chicago to escape the violence, but as fate would have it, Compton wasn't much different. Yet despite the chaos, there was a rhythm to the city, a rhythm Kendrick could not ignore. His dad worked at local fast food joints while his mom kept the family grounded. And through it all, music was ever present. Legend has it, Kendrick's mom was the first to recognize his gift. She'd catch him reciting rhymes in the living room, his tiny notebook filled with words no kid his age should ever know. She once told him, "Boy, if you don't turn those poems into something, you're gonna waste that brain." Turns out, she was right. As a kid, Kendrick idolized Tupac. He didn't just listen to Pac, he studied him. The way some kids would study superheroes, and the parallels were uncanny. They both had a prophetic understanding of the world around them, as if they had been chosen to translate pain into poetry. But here's where things get interesting. Kendrick has often mentioned dreaming about Tupac, vivid, almost spiritual encounters where Pac would guide him, telling him to pick up the mic and keep the legacy alive. Is it just poetic storytelling? Or was Kendrick tapped by something larger than himself to be the next voice of his generation? You be the judge.
Oh, not oh big new Pac. Oh my God, he's alive. He dropped bombs on your intellect, bombing everything from the streets to the internet. Get the instrumental wet, then I'ma bust a nut. Yep, I'm a fucking nut. That is not an Escalade, that's a damn armor truck.
By the time Kendrick hit his teens, the streets were calling, but so was his pen. And unlike so many others, he chose the latter. At Centennial High School, Kendrick wasn't the loudest or the flashiest, but he was the most observant. He once said, "I wasn't in the streets, but I was close enough to feel their pulse." And that pulse became his inspiration. While most teens were arguing about their Jordans or their MySpace top 8, Kendrick was out here scribbling verses that would one day define a generation. Imagine your classmate casually dropping the hardest freestyle you've ever heard during lunch, and then him walking away quietly like nothing ever happened. That was Kendrick.
Still crackers at communion. What are we doing? I'm about to crack the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Ha ha, joke's on you. High five. I'm bulletproof.
Even before the fame, Kendrick's reputation in Compton was growing. Local producers described him as a quiet storm, humble in demeanor, but unstoppable once he started spitting. He wasn't rapping to flex, he was rapping to survive, to heal, and to understand the world around him. And yet, some say Kendrick's rise wasn't just skill, it was fate. Think about it. A kid born into chaos, surrounded by legends like Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, somehow ends up being the chosen one to bridge the gap between hip-hop's past and future. Coincidence or divine alignment? You tell me. But Kendrick wasn't just inspired by the legends around him. He was motivated by their humanity. He once said, "Tupac wasn't just a rapper to me. He was like an uncle, teaching me things no one else could." And with every verse he wrote, Kendrick was carving out his own path, not to emulate the legends, but to honor them by speaking his truth. Of course, if you asked Kendrick back then where he saw himself in 10 years, he'd probably say, anywhere but here. But little did he know, the world was already waiting for his voice.
Who the nigga thinking that it? Still taking
The next chapter in Kendrick's story wasn't just about rhymes, it was about resilience. From K-Dot to King Kendrick, the journey was just beginning. Let's talk about the mixtape era.
Look, I'm beyond the most slept on, stepped on, step songs, father of rap songs, writing my wrongs, writing a book of songs. This is the word to the Holy Quran or whatever that's foreign to you. I find it funny that you embracing the storm. Wake up, ring the alarm, or wake up with a bomb through you. It's bad dad, kids with bad dads, cops with bad badges, big bullets, no my bads. Once them guns shoot you.
Before Kendrick Lamar became the Pulitzer-winning voice of a generation, he was K-Dot, a young rapper with an unmatched pen game and a dream bigger than the streets of Compton. The mixtape era wasn't just the beginning of his career, it was the foundation of a movement. And trust me, if you weren't paying attention back then, you missed the blueprint. Think of Kendrick's mixtape days like a chef experimenting in the kitchen. Sure, the dishes weren't Michelin starred yet, but every bite hinted at greatness. And yes, some people still think Overly Dedicated is the best thing he's ever done. Those damn hipster fans. You know who you are.
Like thinking they hot because they homie said they was a few times, which is too many times I lying to you. They telling a lie. The only time I lie in the booth is when I sleep in it. Record 24 hours. These niggas better get they bars up. I bench press this rap stuff. Got it locked like handcuffs. I threw away the key. My coolest on. She love my AC. My jewels is on, and I wish one of y'all try to rob me. I shoot and have you land between the sheets with the eyes leave.
Kendrick started as K-Dot, a name inspired by his own initials, but also a persona that allowed him to explore the craft without the weight of expectation. His early freestyles were raw, full of energy, and bursting with potential. And in Compton, word travels fast. Soon enough, K-Dot was known as the kid with the notebook, someone who could turn a 5-minute beat into a cinematic experience. Picture this. You're a neighborhood rapper feeling good about your skills, and then K-Dot steps into the cypher. 5 minutes later, you're thinking about getting a job down at the plant and leading a simple life. That's the energy he brought.
She say that real music is back, nigga. Real artists back.
By 2003, Kendrick had released his first mixtape, Youngest Head Nigga in Charge, at just 16 years old. The title alone was a statement, but the music, it was a promise. A promise that Kendrick wasn't just here to rap, he was here to lead. And while the mixtape didn't blow up nationally, it caught the attention of Top Dog Entertainment, a local label that would soon become his second family. Top Dog himself has shared the story of hearing Kendrick rap for the first time. The kid had bars, he said, but more than that, he had stories. And that's what made Kendrick different. He wasn't just spitting, he was painting pictures.
Lord, forgive me. Kill him, wait, stand over him, shake his hand, then jump back in that minivan. Double back to his block and blam. I ain't backing down for nothing. I'ma back him down like Shaq with this black 223 in my hand. Better pray that this chopper jam like a radio single, man. Police radio signal saying that a 187 land on your corner. Coroners comfort your mama. Mama, he's dead the next morning. Hot toasted up with my homies. We drink and smoke marijuana. Want us to change our ways? You see this game we play come from uncles that raised me in Compton. Ask me what I have accomplished. I don't know, I don't have conscience. I just load up and start dumping. No enemies, I'm headhunting. No sympathy, ain't no love. When you in these streets, just get something. Protect your neck, cause they coming. For set respect, split your onion and chop your deck. Your head tumbling like gymnastics. Cause ignorance is bliss.
I pray that God will bless you in everything that you do. I pray that you will grow intellectually so that you can understand the problems of the world and where you fit into in that world picture. And I pray that all the fear that has ever been in your heart will be taken out.
Fast forward to 2010, and Kendrick drops Overly Dedicated, a mixtape that feels less like a project and more like a thesis statement. Songs like Ignorance is Bliss weren't just introspective, they were groundbreaking. Kendrick was exploring themes of identity, ambition, and survival in ways that felt both personal and universal. Let's be real, if you weren't lost in your thoughts during Growing Apart, were you even listening? Kendrick had all of us in our feelings before being in your feelings was even cool. But here's the kicker. Overly Dedicated wasn't just a mixtape. Some fans believe it was Kendrick's way of signaling the industry that a new era was coming. Tracks like Ignorance is Bliss felt almost prophetic, tackling issues like violence and systemic oppression, long before these conversations became mainstream. Was Kendrick ahead of his time? Or was he simply the only one brave enough to say it out loud?
The heck so my future someone catch me. Falling victim to a revolutionary song. Serengeti's clone. Back to put you backstabbers back on your spinal bone. Slit your disc when I slit you my dick. Wanted to diss but jumped on my dick. Grown man never should bite they tongue. You eating pussy that smell like it's a cell plum. My finger on the motherfucking booyah. Aiming at a pig, Charlotte Weber's gonna booyah. Issue is it televised. You ain't gotta tell the why. How to stay on beat because our life's an instrumental. This physical and mental, I won't sugarcoat it. Die from diabetes if these other niggas wrote it. Everything on TV just a figment of imagination. Don't want a plastic nation. Transact like a Haitian. Why you motherfuckers? What's up? I be off the slave shit. What's up? Building pyramids.
In 2011, Kendrick dropped Section 80, and the game officially changed. This wasn't just a mixtape, it was a manifesto. Kendrick wasn't interested in chasing hits, he was chasing history. The album tackled heavy themes like the crack epidemic, systemic racism, and the lost dreams of a generation. But it did so with nuance, blending hard-hitting verses with soulful production. Let's not forget the fans who immediately declared Kendrick the savior of hip-hop. Like, relax, he's still warming up. But hey, they weren't wrong.
The sky's falling, the wind is calling, stand for something or die in the morning. Section 80, high power.
The standout track, High Power, wasn't just a song, it was a movement. Produced by J. Cole, the track introduced Kendrick's concept of elevating one's mind, body, and spirit. It was a call to arms for a generation searching for purpose. And while most rappers were rapping about parties, Kendrick was out here talking about political philosophy. Bold move? Absolutely. Effective? Without a doubt. Some fans even theorized that Section 80 was Kendrick's way of auditioning for the role of hip-hop's next leader. Think about it. The themes, the storytelling, the unapologetic truth-telling, it all felt like a declaration of war on the status quo. And Kendrick wasn't just here to win, he was here to lead.
Okay. And you know, it's a lot of rappers that's coming up right now trying to make it. What are you trying to do to, you know, separate yourself from everybody?
To separate ourselves, well, I say as a camp, that's what we do. Me and J Rock, we separate ourselves from everybody. I say just bringing a pure form of artistry to the music game. You know, everybody is said they own genres of rap, gangster rap, you know, happy rap, you know, commercial. We doing everything, you know what I'm saying? We ain't one-dimensional, you know what I'm saying? So you can't put no label or no title on us. We just being true to ourselves and expressing ourselves on these records. That's everyday life. Pure artistry.
By the end of the mixtape era, Kendrick wasn't just a rising star, he was a comet, blazing through the industry with a level of talent and purpose that hadn't been seen in years. Signing with Aftermath under Dr. Dre was the final piece of the puzzle. The good kid from Compton was about to change the game forever. And if you were one of those people who doubted Kendrick back then, don't worry, we'll forgive you. But just know, your hip-hop card was definitely on probation. Mixtape era wasn't just the beginning, It was the spark. But Kendrick's real test was yet to come. How do you take all that raw talent and turn it into an album that defines a generation? Let's talk about Good Kid, M.A.A.d City.
If the suspect is still at large.
In 2012, Kendrick Lamar dropped his major label debut, Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, and nothing was the same. It wasn't just an album, it was a cultural event. Kendrick didn't just tell his story, he turned it into a movie, a sociology class, and a church sermon all in one. The stakes were high, and Kendrick, he delivered a masterpiece. Let's be real, if your favorite rapper didn't release a cinematic concept album after 2012, were they even trying? Kendrick set the bar so high it was practically in orbit. The beauty of Good Kid, M.A.A.d City lies in its structure. It's not just an album, it's a narrative. Day in the life of a teenage Kendrick navigating peer pressure, violence, and survival in Compton. From the opening prayer in Sherang to the confessions of Sing About Me, every track feels like a chapter in a novel you can't put down. And if you didn't listen to the whole album in one sitting, were you even paying attention? Bro, Kendrick didn't include the skits so you could just shuffle through the tracks, my guy. Some fans even argue that Good Kid, M.A.A.d City isn't just a story. It's a blueprint for how to survive the streets without losing your soul. Tracks like The Art of Peer Pressure and Swimming Pools offer lessons wrapped in the beats, warning listeners about the dangers of following the wrong crowd or succumbing to vices. Was Kendrick secretly teaching us life skills through 808s and metaphors? The evidence is compelling.
Dark room, loud tune, looking to make a vow soon that I'ma get fucked up. My cup, the crowd move, changing by the minute, and a record on repeat. A sip to another sip, then somebody said to me, hey, 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 first you get a swimming. Say what?
Swimming Pools was the breakout hit, a track so catchy that people missed the deeper message. On the surface, it's a club anthem. Beneath the beat, it's a meditation on the cycle of addiction. That duality, the ability to make you dance and think simultaneously, is what makes Kendrick special. Let's not forget the irony of people getting drunk while chanting, Frank. Kendrick was out here giving us warnings, and we were just turning them into party anthems. Classic us. Then there's Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, arguably one of the most emotional tracks in hip-hop history. This wasn't just a song, it was a eulogy for the forgotten, a cry for redemption, and a prayer for a better tomorrow. Kendrick wasn't just rapping, he was reaching into your soul and asking, you feel me? Some fans even believe the skits in the album, featuring friends, family, and the ominous voice of gang culture, are based on real recordings from Kendrick's life. Are they dramatizations, or is this album more autobiographical than we know? Either way, the authenticity is undeniable. Let's talk about the sound. With production from legends like Dr. Dre and Hit Boy, Good Kid, M.A.A.d City isn't just lyrically brilliant, it's sonically unforgettable. Every beat feels intentional, from the aggressive bass-heavy bangers to the jazzy, soulful interludes. And can we take a moment for Backseat Freestyle, the track where Kendrick proclaimed, I pray my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower? Iconic. Who else can make a line like that sound like Shakespeare? The release of Good Kid, M.A.A.d City was a watershed moment for hip-hop. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, went triple platinum, and was hailed as an instant classic. But its real impact was cultural. Kendrick didn't just tell his story, he told ours, capturing the struggles, dreams, and resilience of a generation. And if you're one of those people debating whether it's a top 5 album of all time, don't worry, the debate is over. Trust me, it is. Welcome to the correct opinion. There's even a theory that Kendrick's storytelling style on Good Kid, M.A.A.d City influenced an entire wave of introspective conceptual rap albums. Artists like J. Cole, Chance the Rapper, and more mainstream acts took notes. Coincidence? Or was Kendrick leading a quiet revolution?
Yeah, Good Kid, M.A.A.d City. It was a self-reflection. You know, my life, my neighborhood, the people I grew up with, and the transitioning from being in a dark place to being in a positive space. And when I go around the world and I do these shows, and I'd be intrigued how, you know, these people are singing these lyrics. You know, when the album first came out, they're just singing these lyrics, and I say to myself, how do y'all, you know, connect with these lyrics and you're not even from Compton? That's what I was saying in the early stages. And then I sat back and I was talking to a person, you know, that was at the show. He was a fan. And he said it does more, you know, than just saying you're from the streets or you did this and did that. I was in a dark place. I'm in a positive space. That's the concept that I got from the album. And I said, you're right. That's exactly what it is. And I can see how everybody can take their own niches from it and make it into their own.
Your specific story had universal themes that everybody related to.
Yes.
With Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, Kendrick proved that hip-hop wasn't just alive, it was thriving. He didn't just deliver an album, he delivered a movement, a story that resonated far beyond the streets of Compton. As the world listened, one thing became clear. Kendrick Lamar wasn't just a good kid, he was the chosen one. And if you're still doubting Kendrick's greatness after this album, let's just say your rap opinion is officially suspended. Take a seat. In 2015, Kendrick Lamar dropped To Pimp or Butterfly, and the world wasn't ready. This wasn't just an album, it was a manifesto. A love letter to Black resilience, a critique of systemic oppression, and a celebration of identity. Kendrick wasn't just making music anymore, he was making movements. And let's be honest, if you didn't have to re-listen to the entire album 3 times just to catch all the metaphors, are you even human? Kendrick had all of us out here feeling like English majors. Let's start with the sound. To Pimp a Butterfly wasn't your typical hip-hop album. It was a genre-defying explosion of jazz, funk, soul, and spoken word. Tracks like King Kunta brought back the spirit of Parliament Funkadelic, while How Much a Dollar Cost felt like a sermon delivered over a smoky jazz bar backdrop. And can we talk about how this album turned everyone into a jazz fan? Kendrick had us Googling bass lines and pretending we understood Miles Davis references. Iconic. Some fans believe Kendrick's decision to use jazz and funk wasn't just creative, it was political. By reviving the sounds of the civil rights era, he was drawing a direct line between the struggles of the past and the battles of the present. It wasn't just music, it was a bridge across time. At the heart of To Pimp a Butterfly is All Right, a track that became the unofficial anthem of the Black Lives Matter movement. With its infectious hook and powerful message of hope, All Right was more than a song. It was a rallying cry. Imagine thousands of protesters chanting, "We gon' be alright," in the face of a riot police. That's the power of Kendrick's pen. Also, let's give Kendrick credit for making a protest anthem that's actually fun to sing. You try chanting those other songs in a crowd, it's just not the same. But here's where it gets deeper. Some believe All Right wasn't just a message of hope, it was a coded declaration of resistance. Repeated refrain, the defiant tone. Was Kendrick subtly arming a generation with a mantra for revolution? If so, mission accomplished. If Good Kid, M.A.A.d City was a personal story, To Pimp a Butterfly was a collective one. Kendrick tackled identity with raw honesty in tracks like The Blacker the Berry, where he confronted the complexities of blackness, self-love, and internalized oppression. And let's not forget, Kendrick didn't pull any punches. If you weren't ready to examine your own biases after this album, Kendrick made sure you left the table feeling full. One fan said they felt like Kendrick was handing out homework assignments with every track. He made me call my mom just to talk about the generational trauma we've been carrying. Now that's impact. One of the most talked about tracks, How Much a Dollar Cost, is a masterclass in storytelling. Based on a real-life encounter, the song explores themes of greed, guilt, and redemption. In the final twist, the homeless man reveals himself to be God, testing Kendrick's character. Only Kendrick could turn a random gas station encounter into a spiritual awakening and make all of us question our tipping habits. Some fans believe this track wasn't just about Kendrick. It was a parable for society. In a world obsessed with wealth, Kendrick was warning us about the spiritual cost of chasing material success. The layers just keep unraveling. When To Pimp a Butterfly dropped, it didn't just shake hip-hop, it shook the world. Critics hailed it as one of the greatest albums of all time, and it won Best Rap Album at the Grammys. But its real legacy lies in the conversations it started. Kendrick wasn't just making music, he was making history. And if you weren't quoting All Right in 2015, were you even living? Kendrick had everyone from college students to activists vibing to the same beat. The album went platinum, topped year-end lists, and solidified Kendrick as not just an artist, but a revolutionary voice. And while the industry tried to keep up, Kendrick was already planning his next move.
That nigga thinking that he frontin' on my man.
2017, Kendrick Lamar had already cemented his place as one of the greatest rappers of all time. But with Damn, he didn't just break barriers, he shattered them. This wasn't just an album, it was a cultural phenomenon. Kendrick took everything he built with Good Kid, M.A.A.d City and To Pimp a Butterfly and fused it into a project that was as introspective as it was explosive. This was Kendrick in his rawest form. And let's not forget, Kendrick was out here making us yell
Sit down, be humble.
at the top of our lungs while simultaneously reminding us that we're not that important. The audacity. And we loved every second of it. At its core, Damn is about duality, the struggle between faith and fear, love and lust, pride and humility. Kendrick wasn't just rapping about the human experience, he was dissecting it. Every track feels like a meditation, a confession, and a challenge all at once. And if you listened to Damn and didn't feel personally attacked by at least one line, congratulations, you're a liar. Fans have long speculated that Damn is actually two albums in one. Played forward, it tells a story of human struggle and redemption. Played in reverse, it's a tale of descent into chaos. Was this Kendrick's way of giving us two sides of the same coin? Or was it just another layer to keep us analyzing for years? Either way, it's genius. M.A.A.d is the album's battle cry, a visceral, unrelenting anthem of self-affirmation. Kendrick isn't just spitting bars here. He's declaring war on stereotypes, systemic oppression, and anyone who dares to doubt his greatness. With lines like, Kendrick reminds us that black excellence isn't just a choice, it's an inheritance. And can we talk about how Kendrick turned this line
I just win again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve.
to the hardest flex of 2017? Who else could make tennis sound gangsta?
I'm so fucking sick and tired of the Photoshop. Show me something natural like Afro with your pride. Show me something natural like ass with some stretch marks.
Then there's Humble, the track that dominated the airwaves, clubs, and gym playlists for months. With the infectious piano riff and commanding hook, Kendrick had everyone chanting.
Humble, bitch, sit down, be humble.
Beneath the surface, the song is a commentary on ego, success, and the pitfalls of fame. And let's not forget the endless debate that this song sparked. Was Kendrick talking to his peers, his critics, or us? Probably all three. Either way, the message was clear. Stay grounded or get checked. One of the most haunting tracks on the album, Fear, dives deep into Kendrick's anxieties at different stages of his life. At 7, he feared punishment. At 17, he feared death. At 27, he feared failure. The track isn't just a reflection on personal trauma. It's a universal exploration on what it means to be under constant pressure. And if you didn't feel called out by the line,
"I'll probably die because that's what you do when you're 17.
Then congratulations. You survived your teens better than most of us. Some fans argue that Fear is the key to understanding Damn as a whole. It's the glue that ties the album's themes together: faith, survival, and the search for purpose. Was Kendrick dropping breadcrumbs for us to follow? Absolutely. In 2018, Kendrick made history by becoming the first rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize for music. This wasn't just a win for Kendrick, it was a win for hip-hop as an art form. For decades, rap had been dismissed by the establishment, seen as a subculture rather than a legitimate artistic movement. Kendrick changed that narrative forever. And let's not forget the chaos this caused on Twitter. People were really asking, what's a Pulitzer? While hip-hop fans were popping champagne. With this win, Kendrick proved that rap wasn't just entertainment. It was literature. It was poetry. It was power. And while the world celebrated, Kendrick remained humble as always. It's not about the music. It's about the culture.
It's where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Coulter, everybody wanna cut the legs off. King Coulter, black man taking no losses. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Coulter, everybody wanna cut the legs off. When you got the yams.
With Damn, Kendrick didn't just dominate the charts. He dominated the conversation. The album went triple platinum, won multiple Grammys, and inspired countless debates about its meaning. But more than that, it gave us a soundtrack for our struggles, triumphs, and everything in between. And let's be real, if you weren't yelling sit down, be humble at least once a week in 2017, were you even alive? Kendrick had all of us reevaluating our attitudes. The legacy of Damn is undeniable. It's an album that bridges the gap between the personal and the universal, the spiritual and the earthly. And with every track, Kendrick reminded us why he's not just a rapper, he's a visionary. In 2022, Kendrick Lamar returned after a 5-year hiatus with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, an album unlike anything we'd heard before. This wasn't just another masterpiece. It was Kendrick at his most raw, his most vulnerable, and his most introspective. His previous albums were about society. This one was about self, about confronting demons, breaking generational curses, and finding a way forward. And let's be honest, Kendrick really said, y'all thought y'all were getting bangers? Nah, here's my therapy session. The sound of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is as layered as its themes, from gospel-infused Father Time to the minimalist intensity of We Cry Together. Kendrick experiments with genres, textures, and storytelling techniques in ways we've never seen before. This isn't an album you can casually listen to. It's one you experience. And oh yeah, We Cry Together, Kendrick really gave us an audio argument that had all of us checking our relationships like, yo, we good or is this toxic? Some fans even theorized that the album's soundscape reflects the stages of therapy: chaos, reflection, and ultimately, healing. Was Kendrick using the production itself to take us on his emotional journey? It wouldn't be the first time he left hidden messages in plain sight. Sober is more than a song. It's a confession. Kendrick lays bare his childhood trauma, his family's history, and the weight of generational pain. He confronts taboo subjects like abuse and addiction with unflinching honesty, offering no easy answers but plenty of hard truths. And let's be real, if you didn't pause the track to collect your emotions, you're stronger than me. Kendrick really had me out here like, therapist, I don't need no damn... Oh. Well, maybe I do. But the beauty of Mother I Sober lies in its resolution. It's not just about confronting pain, it's about breaking free from it. By the end of the track, Kendrick declares, I'm not your savior, reminding us that healing is a personal journey, and that even our heroes are human. One of the central themes of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is breaking generational curses. Kendrick dives deep into how trauma is passed down through families and how each generation has the power and the responsibility to break the cycle. Tracks like Father Time explore the complexities of masculinity, while Auntie Diaries tackle issues of acceptance and growth. And if your dad heard Father Time and didn't quietly nod in agreement, congratulations, you've unlocked a rare achievement: emotional, available parenting. Some fans believe Kendrick's focus on generational healing is his way of preparing us for the future. By addressing these issues now, he's equipping the next generation with the tools they need to survive. Is Kendrick not just a rapper, but a quiet architect of cultural evolution? The evidence is compelling.
There's some whole shit, bitch. I don't owe shit. Fuck your feelings.
You want some whole shit? See, I don't know why you like playing mind games with me. Bitch, I ain't so nor ditzy. I know when you being distant. I know when you fake busy. Get out your feelings and miss me with that reverse psychology.
Bitch, you tripping. Who got you that rolling chain?
And who put that car in my name?
What you think I'm gonna kiss your ass or
Nah,
something?
nigga, you fucking lame.
You know what? Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you, nigga.
We Cry Together is one of the most polarizing tracks on the album, a 5-minute argument set to music. It's messy, it's raw, and it's uncomfortable. But that's exactly the point. Kendrick isn't sugarcoating anything here. He's holding up a mirror to the toxic dynamics that so many relationships fall into. Let's be honest, if you played this track in the car with your partner and they got quiet, maybe it hit too close to home. Some believe the track isn't just about relationships. It's a metaphor for society. The constant back and forth, the refusal to listen, the cycle of blame. It's not just couples that deal with this. It's all of us. At its core, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is about growth. It's about acknowledging the past, facing your fears, and finding the courage to move forward. Kendrick isn't just telling us his story, he's inviting us to confront our own. And let's be clear, This album isn't for the faint of heart, but that's what makes Kendrick different. He doesn't just give us what we want, he gives us what we need. And with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he gave us a roadmap to healing, one verse at a time.
Mr. Duckworth. All of these hoes make it difficult.
Session 10.
The impact of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers goes beyond sales and streams. It's an album that challenges us, pushes us, and ultimately inspires us to do better. And in a world that often feels chaotic and unforgiving, Kendrick reminds us that healing is possible, even when it's messy. And if you didn't reevaluate your life listening to this album, don't worry. Kendrick will be back in 5 years to remind us. From Good Kid, Mad City to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick Lamar has done more than make music. He's made history. He's challenged us to think, to feel, and to grow. And while the world changes, one thing remains constant. Kendrick's voice will always be there, guiding us through the chaos. And if anyone out there still doubts that Kendrick is the greatest rapper alive, well, rewind this whole video and go back and look at it, because obviously you missed something, bro. But that's it, people. What's your favorite Kendrick album, man? Let me know down in the comments. And remember, go out there and get paid, man. P-A-Y-D. Perpetually achieving your dreams. Also, become a passionate and young dreamer. Life is short, man. Go out and get it. I'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace.